The Queen has received 3 jabs of coronavirus vaccine, but she was in direct contact with Prince Charles on February 8. It is the same week that he tested positive for coronavirus for the second time. Both her eldest son, Prince Charles, and daughter-in-law, Camilla, Duchess of Cornwall, have also recently contracted COVID-19. As the Queen Elizabeth tested positive COVID-19, she will continue to receive medical attention and will follow all the appropriate government guidelines. Despite Her Majesty's condition, the 95-year-old British monarch will continue in reduced capacity at Windsor Castle over the coming week.
And for the latest developments in the UK after the Queen tested COVID-19 positive, we have Fitria Sungkar reporting from England, particularly in London. Fitria, are there tighter restrictions in the areas around the palace after the Queen tested positive?
Yes, Rory, in terms of whether they're going to be a tighter restriction in or out of the Queen's compound in Windsor Castle, there's not much detail on that. But as we heard earlier about the statement released by the Buckingham Palace on Sunday morning, confirming that the Queen has contracted the COVID-19, although she had been triple vaccinated or believed to be triple vaccinated because of her direct contact with Prince Charles earlier last week. But so far, from what we heard based on that statement, that Her Majesty will continue her activities and reduce. It's quite remarkable knowing that at her age, while the condition has not been really stable then in the last year, she will continue her activities in the reduced number, and whether are those activities through Zoom or any other virtual capacity. But she was well enough to send a message of congratulations to the British women curling team for an outstanding performance that yielded a gold medal at the Beijing Winter Olympic, where she sent her congratulations through the message and through the royal family Twitter and other social media accounts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, she's already 95. Very soon she'll turn 96, and she's having difficulty sometimes with her legs because she's wearing the sticks. But we want to know, the Brightons are attentive towards the royals. How do they react to the news, especially the local residents, due to Queen Elizabeth getting COVID-19?
Well, the social media account of royal family has been flooded with well-wishers, hoping and giving prayer for the Queen to recover soon. But at the same time, many also express concern. The Queen is believed, although the Queen is believed to be triple vaccinated, she had been on doctor's order since last October, where after canceling a run of engagement and spending a night in a hospital undergoing preliminary tests. Just weeks ago, the monarch had begun to resume her normal duties, hosting her first in-person reception for her Platinum Jubilee at the Sandringham, and a few days later held her first audience with in-person audience with the Prime Minister Boris Johnson in many weeks. She is now regularly uses walking sticks, as you can see from the footage that was shown in the beginning. Recently she told 2 senior military officer during a Windsor Castle reception. They were asking, "How are you doing?" And in a witty way, as we know, the Queen always is, she said, with her stick, she said, "Well, I can't move." So in a way, although we've seen her physical changes quite rapidly after the passing of Prince Philip, but and always the Queen always seems to be always in good spirit when it comes to meeting with other people.
Fitra, it's such an interesting topic to discuss that some of the countries in Europe have started to lift their social restriction measure. For example, in Spain, in Switzerland, in Denmark, they have lifted the measure. And it is such a coincidence, isn't it, that the Queen was tested positive just days before the UK is expected to drop its mandatory self-isolation and also the social restrictions measure. What can you tell us about this?
It is really interesting, Rory, as in here this morning, the news, morning news has been focusing on the plan of Prime Minister Boris Johnson to lift the last remaining restriction, and that is there is no longer not hopefully, but he planned that this week there will be the last three restriction, and that is self-isolation. If you contracted the COVID-19, it used to be by law you have to self-isolate, but he's hoping that particular restriction will be lifted. So if in the future, if you living in England and contracted COVID-19, you're not by law, you don't have to self-isolate. You can do self-isolation, but it's no longer in the policy. And other than that, there's concern of the distribution of free test kit like this I have with me. This is a COVID-19 self-test rapid antigen test that people can easily access in a chemist, or they go to the local hospital to get it for free, and to do the mandatory once every 2 week testing. But that this scheme has been yielding £2 billion every month in order to continue with this program. There's going to be a limit, although we haven't known yet the detail about it. There will be a limit of distribution of the self kit, but there has been a lot of backlash, concern raised by the scientists and health expert about the muted plan to drop the legal requirement, and also the mass contact tracing will be lifted as well. The opposition has argued that the move is very premature and accused the Prime Minister to wanting to declare victory before the war is over. But Prime Minister Boris Johnson yesterday in the BBC Sunday morning program said that he said now is the time to press ahead with reining and public spending ending restriction. Although there's a lot of concern and backlash coming from people with disability and compromised immune system, like people with cancer, that will certainly will be in the most higher risk, knowing that people doesn't have to self-isolate anymore. There are questions about whether the government are thinking about the vulnerable group in society.
I mean, like many countries, even many world leaders have, said that, okay, we have to deal with it. We have to live in normalcy. But this is the war that we haven't, won yet. And the war is not over. So there's no point to declare victory at this point of time. So thank you, Fitra Sungkar, for your report and comprehensive thoughts on this. Fitra Sungkar live from London, the UK.